It's 29 past the hour. More than a dozen House Democrats were arrested outside the U.S. Supreme Court while protesting the court's ruling last month overturning the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. U.S. Capitol Police say the lawmakers were among 35 people detained yesterday afternoon for blocking a street in front of the High Court building. With us right now, one of the lawmakers who was arrested yesterday, California Congresswoman Sara Jacobs. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us. Why did you and your colleagues decide to go out and commit civil disobedience, as you put it?
You know, for me, representing California, where I'm proud to still have the right to access an abortion for now, I felt like it was really important for me to go out and show that we are not backing down and we're not going to stop fighting until every person across this country has that same right to access abortion. And, you know, this fight is currently being fought on people's bodies across this country. We are hearing horrific stories of people in doctors' offices, emergency rooms who can't get the care that they need. And so it only felt right for those of us who are in Congress, for those of us who have power, to put our bodies on the line to fight and protect for those who can't do that right now.
Is this the first time that you've been arrested for doing something like this? And would you be willing to do it again if you had to?
But look, I think that we are in an incredibly important fight about the fundamental rights of at least half of our population. And even those of us who are not currently impacted because we do live in blue states, that right is not guaranteed if there's a federal abortion ban. And we know all of us are impacted. And so I think it's important that we all do everything we can to fight and get back these rights that, you know, people have had for at least 50 years before this.
So late last week, the House passed legislation that would protect access to abortion rights, including the ability to travel across state lines for an abortion. But the bills don't appear to have the votes needed to get through the Senate. So you're out there, you're committing, as you call it, civil disobedience. But where does the fight actually go from here?
Look, I think that there is a couple different prongs to this fight. So the first is that we need to pass legislation in Congress to codify Roe v. Wade into law and to protect people in states where abortion is currently being criminalized, like the ability to travel across state lines, like the right to contraception that we'll be voting on this week, like my bill that will protect reproductive and sexual health data. Then we need to understand that unless we have two more Democratic senators in the Senate, these might not get through the Senate, even though that they have broad support across the American public, across parties. And so we need to work hard in November to make sure we hold the House and we elect two more people to the Senate. And then we also have to recognize that so many of these bad things are happening at the state level. This is not only about what's happening here in Washington. And we need to put some skin in the game and make sure we're fighting to elect Democrats up and down the ballot in all of these states. And we can do all of those things while we're pushing to try and get our colleagues in the Senate to understand the gravity of the moment and to hopefully change their vote so that we can get this done before next year.
Well, from now until the midterms or after the midterms, if Democrats don't get what they want, what do you think the Biden administration can and should be doing?
You know, the Biden administration is looking at all available options of executive orders. I was happy to see the first round of executive orders that they rolled out a few weeks ago. And I think it will be incredibly important that we continue to enforce that anyone can have access to medication abortion, that the FDA has approved in any state, that people have a right to travel across state lines, that no one can prosecute someone for getting an abortion or serving abortions in other states. There's a lot that our Justice Department and our FDA can do right now to make sure that people in these states where abortion is being criminalized are getting the care that they need.
Congresswoman Sara Jacobs, thanks for your time. In the months since